Hey friends, Annie F. Downs here. I'm here with Bear Rinehart from Need to Breathe as well as Wilder Woods. But Need to Breathe has a new album out. It's very good, called Out of Body. Listen, when you listen to Banks, you're not ready. And Seasons, you're not. We didn't even talk about Seasons. Bear, Seasons is unbelievable.
Thanks.
Again, it just feels like you are, you're caring for us in this album.
Oh, that's really sweet. I'm trying to care for myself, I think.
Yeah, hey, it
it's
works.
hard enough. It's a big enough job.
That's right. I'll take it. Hey, one of our friends asked a really great question in our Friday AFD Week in Review email and wanted to know from you, and I think this is so important for anybody who is a creative at all, which everyone is actually, is how do you keep creating even when you don't want to?
Yeah, I think for me it's been a process of learning that. But there's a book called Make War on Art.
Oh yeah.
And just the idea of like establishing a scene for creativity to show up. Mm-hmm. And I think that routine has been really important for me. Kind of like he says something in there like, make your space so beautiful that creativity when they come in won't soil our gown, or this idea.
Yeah.
So there's something to me. It's really, some days you do not feel creative at all, but there's something about, for me, having a coffee and putting it in the same place. And
okay.
I'm huge into like all these writers, Steinbeck and poets and things and they talk a lot about that. Anyway, there's a great Steinbeck thing about this where he's writing Grapes of Wrath, where he basically writes a journal every day, and it's like, I can't do this. I'm not good enough. I don't have the ideas. It's all this really. He's writing, his biggest whatever novel, and he gets to the end. He's like, but here we go.
Yeah.
Which I love that. I'm like, yeah, that's just get it out of your system.
Yeah.
You don't feel good. You don't feel like doing this, but then, start.
Yeah, kind of prime the pump, get the well going.
Yeah, and there's poets, talk a lot about starting with one word and letting that word lead to another and to another. And I do feel like creativity for me is like that. The more room I allow for it, the more creative I am.
I mean, that may be why 60 songs came out of you during the quarantine and the start of COVID.
Yeah, and I think and I also learned something about this myself during this time because I'm more creative super early in the morning. You wouldn't think that with like being on the road and all that. But yeah, if I could get in the studio by 7, then I'm like, I'm cruising. So by 11, most of the song is written.
Yeah. And then you get to have the afternoon.
Yeah, exactly.
That's brilliant. I had a friend one time say, I only write when I'm inspired, but I get inspired every morning at 9.
Right, exactly.
And
That's
like,
totally right.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anytime you meet somebody who's like, well, I'm just waiting for the inspiration, it's like, well, you keep waiting because
I'll see you in heaven. You're going to still be waiting.
Exactly.
That's exactly right. Okay, so the new album's out, and everybody's thrilled about it. What's your biggest, when you think about this one going into the world, what's your hope for it?
I'm excited about it because I think it's lessons that we've learned over the last, couple of years, and me in particular. The whole idea of out of body is sort of moving beyond your ego, and this idea that everybody grows up and makes all this armor around ourselves, and we're always protecting. And sometimes that's obviously it's awesome in early life, but at some point you don't experience life the way you ought to. The same sort of vulnerability and the same sort of enthusiasm, and so that's really what the record's about. I feel like it's like this sort of wonderment record. And for me, that's an unnatural thing. I'm a pretty serious guy, so I hope that people feel that when they listen.
Yeah, I do.
Cool.
I do. I really love it. I'm grateful for it. Y'all make sure you grab a copy of Out of Body. Can we get it in vinyl?
You can.
That's my new thing.
Nice.
Thank you to COVID. And
I know, it's pretty sweet.
It's
pretty sweet.
My only problem is you have to flip it over so much.
I know. My kids they're really into hard rock right now, so they come to put the vinyls in and everything's full speed. So they listen to Need to Breathe and Wilder Woods, but like double time, and they think it's amazing. It's like rock. I'm like, that's not really what it is. Yeah.
Okay, so Out of Body, you can get it any way you like, including vinyl, which I'm grateful for. Bear, thanks for being here.
Of course, thanks for having me.